Hello and welcome to Verdictum. I am Ananya Singh and you're watching today's legal news, where we update you with the recent important legal developments across the nation. Here are the headlines. Supreme Court refers challenge to sedition law to a larger bench of at least 5 judges. Fresh affidavit in Supreme Court alleges SEBI has conflict of interest in investigating Adani Hindenburg case. Umar Khalid's bail plea adjourned for 4 weeks by Supreme Court. Supreme Court dismisses Asaram Bapu's bail plea in case of minors rape in 2013. Supreme Court directs SpiceJet to pay dues amounting to $1.5 million to Credit Suisse by September 15. Jharkhand High Court directs state to form a high-level committee within 45 days to ensure return of funds by chit fund companies. Now let's take a detailed look on the headlines. The Supreme Court referred the batch of pleas challenging Section 124A of the Indian Penal Code, which deals with sedition, to a larger bench of at least 5 judges. The bench of the CJI D.Y. Chandrachud, Justice J.B. Pardiwala and Justice Manoj Mishra, hearing the petitions challenging the constitutionality of the sedition law, made the order. The bench said in its order that the constitutional validity of the provision was tested in 1962 in the case of Kedarnath Singh versus State of Bihar. But at the time, the validity was analysed on the ground of Section 124A being violative of Article 19(1)A and not on the ground of it being in violation of Article 14 of the Constitution of India, which deals with the right to equality. The court said that the constitutional bench did not have the occasion to consider the validity with reference to Article 14. A fresh affidavit has been filed in the Supreme Court in the Adani Hindenburg case, claiming that the Securities and Exchange Board of India has conflict of interest in investigating the matter, as it concealed facts of stock market manipulation and molded the law so as to benefit the Adani Group. The affidavit was filed by one of the petitioners, Anamika Jaiswal, which stated that an early warning made in January 2014 by the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence was ignored by SEBI about stock market manipulation and overvaluation of import of equipment and machinery by the Adani Group. The petitioner further claimed that the company siphoned a sum of Rs 2,323 crores through entities based in Dubai and Mauritius. The affidavit also pointed out that Cyril Shroff, who is the founder and managing partner of the reputed law firm Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas, is part of the committee of SEBI that is investigating the matter. And Shroff's daughter is married to Gautam Adani's son, which gives rise to conflict of interest again. The affidavit also pointed out that Upendra Sinha, who is presently the director of NDTV, which is now owned by the Adani Group, was heading SEBI in 2014 and was responsible for ignoring the DRI alerts. The petitioner expressed shock that SEBI concealed this important information from the Apex Court and never conducted investigation based on the DRI alert. The petitioner accused SEBI of perjury and non-action. The case is based on a batch of petitions filed before the Supreme Court pertaining to the Hindenburg report, published in January this year, alleging stock manipulation and fraud by the Adani Group of companies. The Adani Group, however, has denied all allegations made in the Hindenburg report, calling it an unethical short seller and nothing but a lie. The term short seller in the securities market books gains from the subsequent reduction in share prices. The Supreme Court today adjourned the bail plea of Umar Khalid, accused of hatching a conspiracy that led to the communal violence in Delhi in February 2020. A bench of Justice Aniruddha Bose and Justice Bela M. Trivedi said the matter requires a detailed hearing. The bench told senior advocate Kapil Sibbal, appearing for Khalid, that in this matter, we will have to go document by document. Khalid was arrested by the Delhi police in September 2020 and was booked under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. He has filed for bail on several occasions on the ground that he is not involved with any of the other accused in the case and had no role to play in any conspiracy which led to the riots in northeast Delhi. The said riots erupted in Delhi during the protests staged against Citizenship Amendment Act and the National Register of Citizens. And Khalid, along with Sharjeel Imam, Shahrukh Pathan, Tahir Hussain and several others, were booked in the matter. A Delhi court yesterday reserved its order on the bail application of Sharjeel Imam. And this is the 6th time that Khalid's bail plea has been adjourned by the top court. On the last date of hearing, the plea was adjourned owing to the unavailability of senior advocate Kapil Sibbal for being engaged with the case challenging the abrogation of Article 370. The matter is before the Supreme Court as a challenge to the Delhi High Court order rejecting the bail to Khalid in October 2022. A bench of Justice Sanjeev Khanna and Justice S.V.N. Bhatti of the Supreme Court today dismissed the bail plea of self-styled godman Asaram Bapu in the case of raping a minor girl, in which Asaram was convicted. The bench told the counsel appearing for Asaram to file a fresh plea before the Rajasthan High Court for suspension of sentence if the appeal challenging the conviction is not heard by the trial court expeditiously. Asaram was convicted in the case in 2018 and sentenced to imprisonment for life. He appealed against the judgment before the Rajasthan High Court, and the same is still pending. Meanwhile, Asaram also moved a bail application before the High Court on the ground of old age of 83 years and sickness. The High Court rejected his bail plea, and so the present appeal was filed before the Supreme Court, which refused to entertain the plea. Asaram's counsel thereafter sought the liberty to withdraw the petition, which was allowed by the top court. The Supreme Court directed SpiceJet to pay $1.5 million to Credit Suisse by September 15 on account of the amount being unpaid dues. The top court scheduled the matter for next hearing on September 22nd and warned SpiceJet of drastic action if it fails to clear the dues by then. The top court warned the chief managing officer of SpiceJet, Ajay Singh, that owing to failure of this order, he might end up in Tihar jail. Credit Suisse and the low-budget airline SpiceJet have been engaged in legal dispute since 2014 over the bank's claim of about $24 million as unpaid dues against an agreement for maintenance and repair of aircrafts, which was entered in 2011. This also led to the Madras High Court ordering the airline to wind up in December 2021, which was challenged before the Supreme Court. According to SpiceJet, there is an outstanding arrear of $4 million, while Credit Suisse claims an amount of $4.5 million as debt. In May last year, the two parties have entered into a settlement agreement, which was subsequently approved by the Apex Court. The court on the last date of hearing issued a contempt notice against the chief managing director of SpiceJet for failing to clear the outstanding dues in accordance with the settlement agreement. A division bench of the Jharkhand High Court, comprising the Chief Justice Sanjay Kumar Mishra and Justice Anand Sen, directed the state government to form a high-level committee within 45 days to ensure the return of funds invested by common people in various chit fund companies. The court was hearing a petition filed by non-banking Abhiraksha Suraksha Samiti, which alleged that the SEBI and the Enforcement Directorate have seized money deposited with the chit fund companies and is lying in different banks. The money, however, rightfully belongs to the investors who were cheated by the chit fund companies, and the hard-earned money of such investors should be returned to them at the earliest. The High Court specified the objective of the committee will be to ensure the return of money to investors who were duped by the chit fund companies, which are being investigated by the Central Bureau of Investigation. The high-level committee will be headed by a former Chief Justice of the High Court, and other members will be the Secretary of the Board of Revenue and a DIG-ranked officer of the CBI, the court said in its order. The High Court will hear the matter next on November 8th. That was all on today's legal news. Thank you and keep watching Verdictum, and subscribe to our channel and download the Verdictum app on iOS and Android to keep yourself updated with authentic legal news.